I'm never. I'm gonna have to ask you every time. So,
It's fine. It's fine.
so
Just
welcome to episode 6 of Korea Talk. We have no guest with us this week, but we are going to go into a nice, elongated discussion of the entire first half of the split and see how we think each team is faring. But to begin, same people as always, our main co-hosts, Sam, Peter, and me. And we're just going to jump right into the games, try and get through quick so we can have a longer discussion about our thoughts on teams not named Sbenu, I Am, Anarchy, and Samsung.
And
So,
before we go into the main body, I just want to talk about another exciting league started this week. Really, the second league of OGN champions. I'm of course talking about the ladies' league that started this week, where we saw incredible miracle Athena, love laughing girls, oh my girls.
OMG!
Yeah, that's a Chinese team. So there's not even enough girls in Korea who play League of Legends. And they battled, and there were 3 teams. Oh no, wait, no, there were a lot of them. There were Master Girl, ES Baby Team, Wings of Aurora Girls, but apparently Wings of Aurora are still going. IG Deadly Fiend Girls, Shining Star Girls. I feel like all of these teams are a bit sexist in their naming, clearly. Korean LOL babies.
It up is because Incredible Miracle won it. And Incredible Miracle could not win League of Legends under Cuspa.
There's an alternate universe where Incredible Miracle are better than OMG, and it's what a time to be alive.
At least it's offline. At least it's an offline. Like, they're taking it that enough.
Where we see Jin Air do well and then not do well, and Najin not do well and then do okay. It's that even if you think your worst players are better for the team overall because of atmosphere, even if you think Captain Jack, he's got this great win rate behind him and stuff like that, at the end of the day, you should just play your best players, because when you come up against an opponent who's got is the general kind of, if you're Pilot, if you're Tank, or if you're Peanut, get in that fucking booth, start playing some League of Legends, mate.
so they can choose.
Yeah. If they could, they would be playing. So,
Everyone.
after a nice rant about the great, illustrious diversity we have in esports when it comes to equality, let's jump into IM and CJ. The IM, the winner of the female league, versus CJ, a rapidly declining, decrepit beast that once we thought was good.
3 years ago.
So what did you guys think of this? Because the biggest 2 things I had to talk about with, let's start off with IM quickly, is their jungle and their AD. They keep switching. Why? Which one do you think should stay? Well, I guess we should move on to like that. Move that up. But what did you think of Lilac coming in as jungle?
God.
I was laughing. I don't know. It was funny.
Pitched that idea. Like, in reality, if you're the IM coach who just get sacked right now, just sack you. You're not really cut out for this, mate. Like, it was just you shouldn't be there. Like, it was bad.
You don't think Lilac is good enough to jungle against the likes of Ambition?
I don't think Lilac good enough to fucking do anything these days.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know.
It wasn't even like Lilac was like sort of like doing like sort of thing. He wasn't even playing smartly, because he was like picking fucking jungle echo. Like, not only was he picking a shit pick, but he was picking like a really mechanically intensive shit pick. Like, the whole point of jungle echo is if you're like an incredible echo player, then you're like a champion.
Okay. So, I had a very interesting thing I saw with CJ, is that with Shen coming back into the meta, it seems, Shy was able to basically take over both games as TP Shen, and every time he used TP or ult, it made a massive impact. And what do you see more TP Shen being played by everyone, or do you see this as another like Dr. Mundo version for Shen?
Actually, I mean, I think a couple of teams picked it up already. I think it's good. I mean, Shen has always been good with because he has his ult and TP then, so you have two globals, so you can. I mean, even if you then ult in, you can always TP back to your turret to defend it, so you even have less chance of getting denied waves or losing your turret trading for a TP. I think with the buffs, he's definitely a lot better, and split pushing is pretty good. But I mean, I have to agree with Monte. If you don't build any damage onto him, he is fucking useless as shit. I mean, like really, like with turn force, he's actually a decent threat in the team fights. I mean, we see that with Hecarim too. Like someday, one game got super fat. He didn't build any damage, and they pretty much lost the game because he didn't build any damage, which is something you still have. Like right now, top lanes have to also be a carry threat in a way, not fully all the time, except for when you're Magai, but that's because he has so much like utility and damage anyway.
If your champion doesn't have high base damage, then you need to build a damage item. Shen and Hecarim are both innately tanky because of like certain passives and healing, sustain, that kind of thing. So they can build a damage item and become like a proper threat. But Maokai, like, I mean, you know, aside from like a Rod of Ages or something like that, no one builds that anymore anyway. They need base damages, so I think, and their crowd control is like a lot more dependable, so they can not build damage. But yeah, it's really depressing when Hecarims don't build damage, and it's like a running trend with Hecarim, with IM when they play Hecarim, whether it's Apple or Lilac playing Hecarim, is that like they don't build damage. So I wonder if like the coaches just don't really know how to play like Hecarim or whatever.
The only way you can get away with a Hecarim, with one damage item Hecarim, is if you get a perfect TP home guard in, because that gives you enough bonus movement speed, like bonus damage, to be able to one-shot the carry still. But without that, you really need, if you're going to go smite, you really need to get more than just the skirmisher saber jar.
But teams are often
enough damage.
Teams are prepared for the home guard. I mean, like you're almost never going to go there in their full speed.
Oh yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. At least in Korea, it's like instantly stop you.
Yeah. You can still flank with it and then go in with ult and stuff, but not with the full 600 moving speed damage output. No.
Okay, and the last point, insane. Recently, like the fact that he is the primary engage for his team, almost it seems like right now that it's like you should not be doing that with such a fragile character like Azir, but he gets away with it
every time. Yeah, the fact that he lives every time he does that is the most insane. It's CJ's story right now. Coco has to do stuff like that and win then the game. So.
I think we could all agree that if it wasn't for Faker, Coco would probably be the best mid laner in Rip. Still the Dark Lord, so...
Easy Hoon. No, Coco definitely.
Fuck Easy Hoon.
Coco it's been very like amazing to watch him too, back from when he used to only play Catherine and was known as just the Coco Den, to what he has become now, where he is another slave in base.
It's CJ.
The old CJ enters one-trick pony Frost mid laners have stepped up. Both GBM and Coco have now got quite large champion pools and quite formidable carry threats for their team.
Well, talking about Faker, we can move on to, I guess it was a series of SKT versus KT, where we have the similar trend we've seen is that whenever a team, we're like, oh, there might be a team to threaten SKT, it just is like, nope, 2-0.
Wasn't even close.
There were like 16 minutes. I was like, oh my god, KT are equal. What the hell? and then they just lost. And I was like, it's like 20 minutes and they lost. And I was like, oh, thanks for that, KT. I'm not gonna lie, this was the worst telecom wars I've watched in League of Legends. Normally, KT put up a good fight, and it's historically delivered some of the best series, and this one just failed to deliver and was just really shows that KT need to like At this point, Casey might as well just fucking clean house and just fucking start all over again. Like, time to re-roll, and just like a new class, and just start leveling up from level 1 again. Because like, I don't even know who's working on that team anymore. Like if Score plays well, then Nagne plays like shit. If Nagne plays well, then Score plays like shit. SSumday, like Monty was really, really overhyping SSumday as well. Like I did not understand this SSumday phase was coming from.
I like SSumday, but I still don't see him as like the carry. I see him as he's a very good role player. He can play some damage champions, he can play some tanks, but he's not going to be the person that's going to step up and make the faker like play. He's not going to make the play to win you the game.
No, yeah, the weird like OGN direction where they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be SSumday versus Faker. I was like, really? It's already fucking decided then, isn't it? Like,
pretty much.
Like the only time SSumday ever achieved something was when he had the best jungle mid combination you could possibly ask for.
Yeah.
That's when SSumday achieved stuff. Since then, he's done fuck all really. Like he's carried some games, but like fucking loads of top laners carry games. We're in a top lane carry meta. Like he should be carrying a couple of games now and again.
My issue too is that they keep like Duke is clearly a head, shoulders, chest cavity, and leg. Like he is a full body above SSumday when it comes to taking over a game. So is Smeb. But I mean, SSumday can't. I don't think SSumday is on that list with those carries. He's the next tier below that. Right below them.
Yeah, even Trace, like in top lane, Korean top lane right now, it's like Trace.
Who is that? You mean Rumble?
Yeah.
I don't know this player named Trace. I only know of a Rumble, Jin Air Rumble.
Yeah, but like Duke when he's not playing Rise.
We'll get to that.
And Smeb. And like the two best, and then you've got Trace, Marin, and SSumday, who are good role players and really good on specific champions. And then you've got
Shy is there too. Is there too.
Yeah, exactly.
Certain champions he can go off.
Yeah, exactly. Like we talked about Shen earlier, and he's still got that pocket Shyvana pick as well. Like Shy, he's a bit hipster and stuff like that. He's definitely the most experienced of a lot, but I don't really get where that SSumday hype was coming from. And like SSumday played well, but he like. It was easy for him to play well based on how much shit he had on his team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was set up to look like the shining star. Like, don't get me wrong, if there was a shining star of KT, it would be him, but that's it. Like,
it's easy to look great on a bad team.
Yeah.
Hi, Frozen.
Yeah.
Hi. Is there much else to say? I mean, we had Master Yi come back out, and for some reason, SSumday thought he could play Riven.
Oh, yeah.
Did not show up, and Faker once again won on Master Yi to the hatred of every other person that wants to play solo queue in Korea.
The Master Yi pick did nothing as well.
Nothing. No.
It was just Bang who like got a 24s and this steamrolled that game. So dumb.
Just play Zed. Just play Zed, mate. Just at least Zed makes plays. Like play Fierce, play Zed, play. Play Yasuo. Just fucking play Yasuo instead. Like, there is no reason to pick Master Yi. I am sorry.
The first Master Yi game, he actually did stuff. This game, it was like a dead corpse that had to be dragged across the finish line.
Yeah.
Wait. He didn't get MVP, right, this time? Or did he? Please don't say he did.
I don't know.
I forgot to check, actually. God.
I think Bang might have gotten.
Yeah, I think so, too.
To go back to SSumday as well, like, I don't even think, like, if you look at, like, say... Like, there are better top laners, in other leagues than SSumday. Flandre in China, for example, or Huni in Europe. I would put SSumday
or Flame.
I would put SSumday on the same level as like Gamsu or fucking Impact in NA.
It's a bit higher, a bit better than Impact now.
A littlest bit, but that's about it. Not head and shoulders above.
All I would say is if I was a team in NA and I picked up SSumday, I would be like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, but that's because right now he's an A.
Yeah.
He's not S tier. He's not Smeb, but he's not Duke. Those are S tier Casper players right there.
Yeah. Monte is like way too overhyping him.
Yeah, that was really bizarre. I like Monte's analysis as well. Oh well.
I mean, Marin, I think, has moments. Marin and SSumday have moments where they shine, but it's not anywhere near as consistent or anywhere close to what we see.
I don't buy the Marin hype. I'm sorry. Yeah, when you spend the fucking first year and a half year, just because you get to play with Faker doesn't mean you're a really good player. Like,
I'm not saying he's up there. He's just he has moments where he's had a couple Rumble games where he's been like, holy shit.
but everyone's had those Rumble games.
That's what I mean. I understand, but I'm saying like, yeah, okay, I agree. Yeah, he's not the greatest, but he has his moments on severely meta champions that are
some
really
days
amazing.
Some days every top lane is a wet dream. Your bot lane nearly always goes even. Your mid lane always crushes, and your jungler just runs around and wards. That's your fucking wet dream right there. That's what every top laner wants to do.
Yep. No, I think Martin's real issue is that he thinks he's an S tier player like Duke and Smap, so he plays like that, which often bites him in
Leads
the
to
ass.
him dying 1v1.
But it doesn't matter because Faker just carries him. So he's like, oh, they're definitely. Oh, I made my decision there, guys. I'm a good 2 on it.
That's gonna cost him something one day. Martin is way better than he actually is.
I think that's enough about that. Again, the constant theme of Korean matches of like, oh, this is gonna be good. Of nope, 2-0.
That's mostly
let's
with
move on.
SKT.
And let's move on to the very, very quick overview of Sbenu versus Anarchy. Sbenu won a game! Okay, Jin Air versus Najin.
Didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. Because
I watched I watched the Sbenu game that they won because they played Lulu mid, and I love Lulu picks of any sort. So I watched that game, and that was it.
No time.
Lost the next 2 games playing Karma in mid and Karma in top. And so, Najin versus Jin Air.
Yeah.
Sam, what are your thoughts on the overall aspect of this game?
So Jin Air versus Najin, I thought it was going to be closer. It was. GBM just went fucking off. Like, GBM just like started fucking ripping people apart. And you know what? For me, it just solidified. Like, there's beyond any shadow of reasonable doubt. You have to give Tank and Peanut a game. You have to really let them try. Like, your mid lane jungle combination is just not up to scratch. Like, Chaser and GBM are like probably the best mid jungle combination in Korea right now, and they fucking demolished watching Goong. They had some good moments. There was that point where like Goong on Victor and Watch on like Evelyn went up to the top lane.
Yeah,
they got
the
like,
triple.
They got a triple kill, and it was like, whoa, Najin are coming back. But no, like they're just not consistent. Like Goong gets caught out in team fights randomly because he's not playing a champion with 100 billion escapes. I mean, back in the LeBlanc days, he'd just press W and he'd be like, oh, I haven't been caught out at all. Haha, look how good I am. But you can't do that Cassiopeia, mate, and you can't do that with fucking Victor. He's not a control mage player, and he's stuck in a control mage meta. He's, now if LeBlanc and Zed become Flavor of the Month again, maybe bring Goong back. But right now, no. Tank in. You've got probably the most promising control mage talent on the bench. Like, I watched the Korean Sub-League. Tank played fucking well, and Peanut played well. Give them a fucking chance, please. I'm begging you, Najin, at this point.
Yeah, they said in the post-game interview as well, like they like the harmony is better right now because they haven't swapped. So yeah, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Like they really like that series. They got so exposed, and we expected the Chaser, like it's or Chaser who goes off, or Duke and OQ. But when you put Duke and OQ on scaling champions, then Chaser can just win the game for.
Yeah, Najin relies on snowballing leads to win games, but when you put them in a position where they're inherently going to go behind, then their win can become so much harder. They're not the kind of team to go equal for 30 minutes, have a big team fight, and win the game. Like they're the kind of team where now it works like if one of them's on a scaling champion because it gives you that nice kind of insurance. But when you put both of them on a scaling champion, it doesn't work. Najin. You need to, and it's just too difficult for them. And it could even conceivably work if you gave like Peanut and Tank the ability to control the mid and early game. It's that devastating jungle mid combo, but you don't even give them that. So
that was a big problem. Watch got out jungled so heavily, Goong couldn't do anything.
Not just out jungled, but that was 2 games in a row where they picked Evelyn into Rek'Sai.
Yeah, that was a problem.
Does Nunu not exist anymore? Was he deleted? I believe Nunu still exists, and I believe Nunu doesn't require mechanics or anything. Just requires you to have a brain and to W your AD carry. And apparently your AD carry picked Tristana over Sivir, which, Sivir pushing R would really put Ryze in a good position, considering Ryze is top lane now and can't really get Ghost, which when Ryze was played mid lane, Ghost was a significant, because he could get in for the Rune Prison and get your team to engage. And you take Tristana.
If Sivir was open, that was such a free Sivir Ryze combination, and they didn't pick it.
There was just it was such a sham of a pick ban for a couple games that I just was very surprised they got away. Like they attempted.
Yeah. You can try that shit versus IM or something.
Well, I was gonna say even against going to your quick point going back is you gotta think Peanut and Tank deserve at least games against IM, Sbenu, Samsung. It's just in the second split. Why are you not playing them in games where it's literally who gives a shit? You're gonna win.
I think they're so convinced that swapping out the whole time last split cost them
for 3 games.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, but bot lane got swapped out a lot more through the year.
I don't care about the bot lane.
It did cost them playoffs last time, but that was because they kept putting in Zephyr. I'm not saying bring Zephyr back.
Yeah, that's
I'm not. You know what? I'll even I'm happy to let you keep Pure over Kane. The two are pretty much the same player anyway. But stop fucking just picking weaker players. Like you fucked up at the start when you decided to play Goon and Watch over Peanut and Tank.
I for one have been loving every time I see Goon ult, I have to quick rewind. YouTube. What time is? How many people did he miss this time?
Yeah.
I mean, we can get into that in the second series against KT that they won in spite of his Casio, but there's just a few more things I want to touch on these games. Is that what do you guys think with Stillwell, our guest last week, I believe, talked about keeping Captain Jack over Pilot simply for a win now. You don't think that? I mean, Captain Jack is more known for Callista and Sivir than Pilot is. I don't think we've ever seen Pilot play Callista.
Yeah, but...
And that threat there was able to keep... I mean...
That's true.
They picked Sivir over... Or Tristan over Sivir regardless, but...
I mean, yeah, he gives them maybe that win now, but I still think if you want to actually have a shot at maybe even winning this season...
Yeah.
You should put in Pilot. You still have a lot of time to, and I think they're good enough to get the wins anyway, despite even if Pilot underperform a bit.
Chase is such a pleasure to watch. He's so good. I think this week, I'd be quite happy to put Chaser in the same tier as Spirit, Swift, Cacao, and Dandy. I think he's that good. I think he's reached that kind of level. Incredible mechanics, incredible decision making at all times. He really goes in, and he's such a clever player. Use that.
That's true. I disagree a bit with Spirit because I think Spirit is on a tier of his own where he's carrying 4 dead bodies with him. When he picks Nidalee, it's just like him making sure everything goes perfectly as he's written it out in his dreams of going, I finally can get a win.
But I don't know. We haven't seen Spirit. If I haven't seen Spirit on a good team yet, if Spirit was on a good team, could he shine the same way? I don't think so.
No.
And you know what? I still believe that Champions is more competitive, regardless of that MSI easy win result. So, I just think, you know what? I'm fully aboard the Chaser hype train now. I've been reserved on it. I haven't properly climbed aboard. Now I'm fully all aboard it. Love Chaser. Love what he does. I think he's a beast. He's a fucking animal.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if Spirit had a better team, he'd probably look more like Chaser, where he is going to gank for his team and he's not going to be the star that shines. I mean, even if you look back at his Blue days, people didn't think of him as highly enough because he kind of just cleaned up for his team. He played a lot of the Kazakhs where he'd jump in and just reset, and help clean up team fights. But people were like, "Oh, he's not that great of a jungler," and then they saw him go to China and just destroy. But I think you're right. I mean, it is fun to watch him 1v9 literally, but I do think he would look more like he's back on Earth if he was on a good team because he would play more around them instead of trying to play selfishly.
Exactly. No. Yeah, really liking Chaser, and I think the Chaser is probably the star of Jin Air as well.
Yes.
So, in a sense,
he makes Trace and GBM shine a lot more than they could without him.
Yeah.
The last point is, did you guys watch this and keep track of how quickly that Jin Air got multiple people to yellow totem, like yellow upgrade totem trinkets, and how quickly they were able to just completely destroy, like just map everything. They could ward anywhere with double sightstone and like 3 yellow trinket upgrades. They had a ridiculous amount of wards everywhere whenever they wanted to move.
Yeah, and that's how you beat Najin really, because they're like can be a bit erratic, and so they just kept getting like picks and stuff like that, and it just really bled Najin out. Like, and Najin team fought well still and stuff like that, but it didn't really matter. Like, Jin Air had both better team fighting and better tactical play in that series.
It was. You were gonna say something, Pierre?
No. Right.
I just found it outstanding to see how quickly the entire team was able to do that. That's one of the things I've loved about Jin Air is that they are very they will have a goal in mind and they will execute it correctly. And then there's other times where you'll go to the Jin Air zone because they are afraid because one person's ultimate is down. It's like I got it, guys. But that was probably one of the more interesting things for me to watch because it wasn't as competitive of a series as I was hoping for, but it was amazing to watch them take over the game with the amount of vision as quickly as they did because it was so much faster than any other team I've seen. It really did. So back on to CJ. Anything to say about this series besides Coco and Zir?
Not really, no. Samsung, there was a time when we all thought Samsung might be a good team, and that's not today.
Time has passed.
Definitely passed. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we finally saw a new but that's it.
Throne's character would be like that guy who's just like in a boat rowing somewhere. Like, we're not sure where he's rowing to. He's been rowing for about 2 years, or and maybe he'll get somewhere, but like right now, that Samsung plot line of champions is dead and buried.
I don't know. I think the Game of Thrones logic, they can paddle a boat with one person really, really far in one episode.
Yeah.
But I understand. They're like they're the side characters of the Greyjoys that disappeared for 2 seasons and no one has talked about them, and people probably don't know who the Greyjoys are as I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I do.
So we're going to move on to the incredibly quick other one of IM versus Ku. And I think the only interesting part about this game was how competitive the first game was solely because of the Echo pick, which was later explained to be, Coach, I wanted to pick it because after this week it's going to get nerfed and we're never going to be able to play him again, so please let me pick him. It's IM.
That was it, really. Cool's way better. They just want to have some fun.
The best part was when you were catching up, Peter, and you said, "Oh, this game's going to be over soon." I asked you what time it was, and you said it was 44 minutes in. I was like, "Oh, you got 11 more minutes of fun to watch."
They needed 2 barons and got the 5th dragon stolen, so they had to super slowly zone out all the turrets so they could get the turrets down. Ridiculous.
Second game was also terrific with top lane Titan, and then we had a Rengar and a Wild Vagar pick. And I think that is all that needs to be said about IM's attempted comp. Pick early and do nothing. So we can move on to the Saturday, the actual relevant games that they were pretty interesting. They had some moments of interestingness, but Both ended 2-0. Let's start off with Najin versus KT. What do you guys think about this Najin versus the Jin Air one we saw basically completely get folded up against?
So I think that Najin made KT look like Najin and made themselves look like Jin Air in this series. Like, it's like Najin have this weird thing where like if you're a bit worse than them, then they're gonna fucking dumpster you. And if you're a bit better than Najin, then Najin Najin are gonna get dumpstered. Like they dumpster or they get dumpstered. There's no in between with them. You know what I mean? This all in play style they have. There's only one result they know, and that somebody's going to get. And it was good to see, but it doesn't mean that Boom and Watch are off the hook.
No, because I mean they got away with stuff that they shouldn't have been allowed to. The way they played and their picks. Mostly it was KT just. Edge was really. I really got shown off for being a rookie because he had poor positioning a lot of the games. Like CS wasn't great either. Team fighting was also pretty poor. I mean, he got caught out multiple times as Sivir or Victor. I can't remember. Like it was bad. It was really bad from him. And yeah, Najin steamrolled that game just because they were better. Because they shouldn't even have been allowed to just pick Sivir in that second game and just steamroll it. Like it shouldn't happen. Like there are way better picks, but Najin just picked what they liked, and they still won pretty easily because KT is really a lot worse at the moment. I mean, not that much, but they're a bit below. They're definitely a tier lower.
Any thoughts on the Renekton pick, or like why?
Oh yeah, and that's that was the main reason why Najin got away too easy with Renekton. I don't know what SSumday is up to lately, man.
Like can carry games with and stuff like that, but obviously, like I don't think Shen would work against like the same level against like a really good team. So he's just got fucking wrecked. Like he picked it like played like one game of Gnar and one game of Rumble and
Maokai and Rumble.
Yeah, Maokai
and Rumble. That's right. And so like when you pick like sort of tier 1 top laners against like a tier 2 to 3 top laner, like you can't out game impact him if the other guy's better than you as well. Like
yeah, that's true.
I'm against somebody who's better than me, so I'm going to pick a worse champion to try and win. Like that's not good logic there, mate. Like
SSumday has to stop picking whatever he wants and pick meta champions because it's not working. They worked for SKT and didn't work. I mean, Riven is kind of meta again, but only like in special circumstances. Then you have to be really good on it.
Against Rumble.
Yeah, well, it was against Rumble, but still, I mean, like, he was like down in CS against Rumble, which is not something that should happen. Like Martin was our heads, which was like whoa, not a good game. Yeah. Some like and before like Kitty was picking so good. They had good comms from all their picks, and now I mean SSumday was playing Hecarim and stuff, and now it's just I don't know. Kitty went. I don't know how to say it.
you can't really carry a game with Renekton. So like if you're trying to carry the game someday, like don't pick Renekton. This isn't solo queue. You're not going to get 100 CS advantage over the guy and kill him 4 times in lane like this fucking Duke. Like
yeah, definitely because it's Duke.
I mean, yeah, I did see Duke get solo killed in lane against Trace. You know, so I was at one point like, guess God doesn't exist after all. But like. In actuality, like it's still Duke, and he's still the best top laner in Korea, and he's still a beast, and he'll still fucking tear you when you asshole if you try and fucking flex pick him or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Renekton's such a one-dimensional pick as well. Like it popped up a little bit at the end of in the pre-season of OGN, when teams were using Gnar, and if they couldn't get the guaranteed stun with Gnar, then they would pick Renekton because like the two are quite similar as their work, but there's no reason to pick Renekton when Gnar is open, basically, because Gnar is a better Renekton.
I mean,
yeah, last time he existed was before Gnar existed. It was just Shyvana Renekton.
Yes.
5 ever.
And a bit of Tremble and Document.
I mean, they didn't pick Sivir in game 2, which was like how in game 1 it kind of worked, and in game 2 they had no Sivir. I'm like, how is this Renekton ever gonna get anywhere in team fights close to a fucking Tristan who can bust a shot you back and everything else that's Najin had? I don't know. Really really didn't think he was going to pick it 2 games in a row. Okay,
Yeah, it was
okay.
dumb.
Should we touch on the Goon Casio, because he had one game and everyone blew it out of the water, and then the second game was fucking awful, and he just I last hit people because I can chase them down and spam E.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I don't really want to see Goon play anymore, like, period, let alone, like, play fucking Casio. So, like, I mean, I'm happy when Goon goes off, because I still think he's, a good player and stuff like that, but he really should be on, like, an SPL team at this point. Like, I
liked seeing Goon play sometimes, but I liked it when he was playing Cassidon, LeBlanc, Zed, like, the picks he was known for.
He's an assassin player.
Yeah, not shit he can't play. Regardless of how many times he's allowed to play it. And then I have one last thing to mention. Hilariousness, that is OQ's double Shiv build on Sivir.
It was such a BM, man. Like, what the fuck?
I feel like he did that just to annoy Peter. Peter was like...
Yeah. Oh, I was going nuts when I said it. It's like, he's taunting me. It's like, from Korea, just taunting me. It's like...
Yeah.
I think he was taunting KT in the game.
Yeah, that too.
Like, I don't even need to fucking build real items anymore.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what I build, idiots. Like, I'm gonna fucking win this game anyway. Look at this fucking joker of a person, Arrow. Like... Also, can we talk about Arrow as well? Like, when he played against
we'll talk in the section, in the recap of KT, because he is a huge topic of conversation. But just jump onto the last split of SKT versus Jin Air. And game 1, we had the illustrious Rengar pick from Chaser, which made me want to go, what Jin Air? Please don't.
Fucking Rengar. I hate Korea and picking Rengar just randomly. It's not good, and it almost never fucking pays off. And I think the biggest problem is they let Victor open. Like, they should know. Like, Victor's gonna pick that pretty much when it's open. Like, he doesn't care against what he has to play. He'll pick it and just beat the shit out of you. It's like, the moment they let that open, it's like, yeah, okay, this game is over. It doesn't even matter what gender you pick or whatever.
Yeah. Watch had his game on Gragas as well, where he fucking wrecked everything, because he's a really, really good Gragas. It's just if he was good on like 2 other champions at the level he's on Gragas, he'd be a really good player. But like, he's only really great on Gragas. So like, and don't get me wrong, he's an insane Gragas player. Like, his body slams and his explosive casks and stuff like that, bang on, point on. Like, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And I was like, wait a minute, this is his Gragas. This is the one champion. Like,
the strongest champion in the meta right now.
Yeah,
and then
he gets really good on the strongest champion in the meta, and then that's it. Like, let's watch.
Yep.
Also, the post-game interview was like, "Do you want to play Gragas more?" Like, yeah, I would play it whenever you want. Yeah, we bet you will watch, but you're never gonna be allowed to play it a lot.
So, Peter, in the after game 1, were you able to see the MVP highlight reel for game 1 of SKT versus Jin Air?
I don't think so.
You really need to go back and watch it. It is.
What was it?
Faker was the MVP, and
he. I know.
All it was him last hitting turrets.
Oh yeah, that was.
It was like you could see a team fight, and it would just zoom over to Faker. He's like.
He does so much.
Got it.
I have never seen SKT play that much. I mean, Faker is always like, his Faker is insane, like it's godly, but I've never seen them play. Like, just let him actually just do everything in the game. Like, they literally just ran around. I think except Martin getting ganked, he literally did nothing in that game but farm. Like, if Jin Air didn't pay attention to him, he would have done nothing in that game. Just farm.
That second game of Jin Air versus SKT as well is why I'm not fully sold on SKT, because Jin Air gave them that win, and then they won the game. Like,
I think Rise gave them that win.
Yeah.
Not Faker on Rise, just Rise gave them that win.
But this is my point about SKT, is I don't think they're as good as they look, because I think other teams are just likely just give them weird situations where they win. I think other teams play worse against SKT than they play against like each other. There's sort of 2 to 6 all kind of shrivel up a little bit against SKT, and it bothers me because I'm just not fully convinced they're the real deal. I don't get it.
don't remember if it was Thorin or someone else who said that it just Faker can get into people's heads, and I think the stat line of Faker's champion pool this split
it's
has
fucked.
gotten into the brain of every other team, going, holy fuck, this guy can beat he can play Master Yi and win. How are we going how are we going to create a ban strategy with him? The ban strategy is just hope we don't die a lot.
Oh, I hope they play easy.
Yeah, that's the ban strategy they have versus Faker. It seems like everyone is shell shocked that he will play anything he wants to play and win. And they just seem to give him too much respect, where if you take name tags off, it's like what Pawn got a huge name because he just didn't give a fuck, and he's like, I don't care, I'm going in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna 1v1 you because I'm not respecting the fact that you like 5 CS as I sip on my turret holding my dick because I think your jungler's right there. Now
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go in and fuck, if I die, I die, but I'm taking you with me.
Yeah, Faker gets away with a murder in a lot of his like laning and his like the team fight choices and stuff like that because of his the charisma and the sort of aura that he has about him.
Yeah.
And I think Faker is really, really good, but I think that
he is not, but I think that people give him too much credit for it.
Yeah, 100%.
But game 2 is so soul crushing. The fact that it looked like Jin Air was going to force the game 3 and be great, and then you have one play where Faker flashes over the wall to avoid the Nautilus hook and still gets the room prison on a Nautilus, killing him. That forces Jin Air to go towards the dragon pit to prevent the dragon. And then Faker gets a bullshit W on Trace after he'd already flashed. He gets locked up. He runs towards him flat, and Gragas used his ulti on Tristana instead of on Faker, and he just Kennen gets a good ult, and it just like no, oh god, and then just because of that everyone died, and then the only reason they won is Tristana has a stupid ability to just destroy turrets without any need of anyone else.
Yeah.
It was such a combination of, oh god, no, they have exactly what they need to win.
Yeah, it was. Because I thought that Jin Air really probably should have won that game, and they didn't, and that was pretty kind of.
It was so good, even with giving up the first blood.
I think they played super cocky around all the dragons.
Kuzan plays really well as well.
Kuzan is
Oh yeah, cool.
I don't like seeing him play because I'm a big GBM. I love GBM.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. Kuzan has every game he's played has been really, really good.
I don't really understand like what the end game is with Kuzan, because you've got a really good mid laner who's
the easy hoon.
Exactly.
It's easy hoon 2.0.
Oh yeah, but we know how that worked out. So
how it works out is you have mid laners like Sassen, and you have mid laners that should not be playing mid.
But like the point I don't get about Kuzan is like he plays almost the same as GBM. Like sometimes you could get rid of his tag and you just like, oh, it's GBM again. Like, so I don't really get the point of Kuzan really.
Yeah, that's also.
I don't either, but I mean it's another example of certain teams having talent that's just not available to other teams that would make the entire region more competitive. Like Easy Hoon, we said this before. Easy Hoon on not.
You could take
bottom 4 teams.
Top lane. You could take like, I mean, imagine if you had like fucking. Let me think. So you would have jungle. You'd have Peanut. Mid lane. You'd have tank or Kuzan. ADC. You'd have pilot, and support. You'd have Sweet, and that would or Kane, and that'd be a really good lineup that would like do well in OGN. And
you have Sweet, you have Kane, you have Peekaboo.
No, Peekaboo doesn't play anymore.
Isn't he on KT?
Yeah, somewhere on the bench. Playing.
And then you have Luna and Wraith.
He's on KT now.
Oh, okay. Well,
you can get Luna or Wraith. I mean, and these are only of the confirmed subs, because there are so many subs that are just not confirmed on the team.
Yeah.
But are kind of like captured by them
Najin's sub top laner in the OGN like reserve league. It looks like he's an ADC main. When I looked at his like solo queue where he's played champions, like it was like, oh, he's played like a lot of Vayne and Sivir. This is weird. Like, oh, he's playing okay, I can. Okay, just carry on with it. I guess it's fine. Like, it's like they didn't even bother to get a fucking top lane replacement. Like, because it's like, oh, I've got Duke. Well, we really ever need a top lane replacement.
Yeah.
Oh shit, we need to field one. You'll do. Well, I was meant to replace, but I just play a bit of ADC, mate. Like, well, fucking figure it out. You'll be fine.
Just don't die.
Yeah. In the sub league, I saw like fucking Najin's sub team like fucking dump all over fucking Sbenu. Like, but it was like just Spenu's main roster.
Yeah.
I was like,
Sbenu.
on Najin's sub team on Sbenu, the entire Sbenu like fucking organization.
Pretty much. So that wraps up this week. Do you guys want to start at the bottom or the top, or kind of
Let's start at the bottom.
pick a team?
Yes, let's start at the bottom. Yeah, let's just go for it.
Okay, so Sbenu, anything redeemable? Any expectations for them to win a set?
I want them to get relegated.
Yeah, they're
I
fucked.
do too, but
I mean, maybe
So-
they get one from IM, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah, maybe they can improve to the point they can get a win over IM or Samsung, but
if they get a win over IM, they're still bottom two, and I think the bottom
yeah,
two.
no. They're screwed in relegation spot. I mean, they might win a set.
I don't even know if they're screwed in relegations because of how fucking dire Korean Challenger is.
No, screw. I think I just think they are pretty much going to be in relegations.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then they're probably
There's no TDK
Qualifying.
story. There's no visa problems. They're going to bring like incredibly good players into the fold.
Nope.
Like,
they have 10 crappy players on their roster.
can spend, I get paid in crisps. Like, I'm alright, thanks.
And they get paid in shoes, and you can shake those shoes.
No Spanish.
So let's move on to the next bottom team, which would be 9th place, IM.
Yeah.
Anything much to say? Oh, this is where I wanted to talk about the Lilac Conundrum and Roar or Sonstar.
Was,
Like, why is Lilac still on this team? I mean, Lilac should just be an analyst at this point, or some sort of assisting the team, but he should
he should.
not be allowed on the Rift. I don't know if anyone watches CSGO, but this
occasion.
past weekend, Gfinity was being played, and Mouse Esports had a player called Gob B, and he was fucking terrible. But apparently he's the in-game leader and was like telling everyone what to do, and he could just not touch his keyboard and just look at the other guys and just play 4v5, and it gave them a better chance at winning games, just because he was a warm body that could tell people what to do, and that's what like Lilac needed. There is no way you can hide terrible.
Just waiting for the next step, which is coaches are on the voice comm and
Yeah.
get shot calls. Then
yeah.
Lilac can step up.
Yeah.
He doesn't actually have to play.
So what do you guys think about Roar and Sonstar? Do you think there's any kind of significant difference between the two?
I think Raw's slightly more reliable and just a slightly better player, but I don't think it's worth kind of. I don't really see the point in Sunstar anymore, but I don't. Yeah, I feel like they're just trying anything at this point. Like probably going to start subbing in their girl team or whatever. Just I hope that it will fucking might grab a win. Like, well, they at least have won games recently. Like, you know. Well, no, I won that IEM event in Brazil. That so.
Ooh, prestigious.
So, and IM were technically. I think did they win a game in that China versus Korea like bottom half tournament that like Ku Tigers and a couple of other teams went to. So yeah, maybe there's some hope for maybe like I don't know. I'm not expecting anything off IM as well. They've already shattered all my my hopes for them this season.
I have the same thing, but like I look at their lineup and Apple's wasn't that great ever. But I mean, he had some promise. There's been some games he was in North America that looked good. Tucson was playing good when he was support. Frozen has had some good games, and Roar and Ignar seem like a decent enough bot lane to not shit the bed. And it just seems like they can't get anything to work. And I mean, if I was to change it, it'd be Apple and Tucson to be going. If I changed it, there's no one to replace it. Korea has a significant lack of top and jungle.
Ignar's biggest contribution to League of Legends is convincing Helios to not retire. That's his biggest, by being such a dick to him, he's just convinced him not to retire. Like, a fucking call out in that video where he was like, oh, there's a player I really don't like in Korea, and I'm pissed off that he gets to play, so I'm going to play. I'm like, you're such a wanker that you convinced Helios to not retire. Congratulations. Like, fucking, even Flame hates Ignar at this point. Like, it's like...
I think IM is definitely not helping themselves.
He doesn't realize that. Oh, you can go ahead.
Oh yeah, IM is definitely not helping themselves by swapping in fucking half their roster now.
No.
It's like they stick to a roster, get decent away, try and get a fucking Soulsy jungler that's actually decent at some champions, and maybe you can work something out there. Like build a bit more around Frozen, try. And you might like get just bit better. There's just a whole lack of talent right now. I am. So it's a problem. Don't expect them to actually get up anywhere to. I don't think they are not even gonna make 8. Seems to
no.
So you think they're gonna be the second team in the relegations? Because I think only 2 teams get relegated.
Yeah, the 7th and 8th don't play in relegations, but they don't play in playoffs either. They're just kind of, unlike in LCS, where there's only one purgatory position, there's 3 in Korea. And I think that IM, Anarchy, Samsung, and Sbenu, maybe Samsung and Anarchy will swap places, but other than that, it's all, it's pretty much like there's a very clear top 6 and bottom 4 divide in Korea right now, and the bottom 4 are pretty much all shitters. So who cares?
It's pretty interesting to see that all the top 6 are the ones that got seeded into this new tournament.
Samsung got seeded as well.
No, all the top 6 did. No, Samsung got qualified. They had to win back in.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right.
They got qualified to automatically play in the Challenger.
Well,
so, talking about Samsung, I think it's time to play Ace or Bliss. Oh, okay, not Bliss.
No.
Try Ace.
No.
No, you think Crown's still better than Ace? I mean, the only thing I remember about Ace is TF. That's it.
I think Crown's.
I watched Ace play in the sub league, and he didn't look like he was particularly good. So I was like, why not try and get a hold of that Kuzan guy? Like, he seems to do okay. Or put it in the bid for Easy Hood, increase it to 4 packs of chewing gum, and maybe Samsung will take it. Maybe not. Maybe SKT will take it this time.
No, I think Crown is still the best they have right now on their roster.
Yeah, but they're having they can only win games. It seems like really sad, like AD carry focused things.
They've gone back to what they were trying to do in OGN Spring, but it didn't really work then, and it definitely won't work now. Yeah.
Samsung really needs to convert to a AD carry jungle focused centric team. I mean, it's not great, but it's the best they have. And let fucking Fury play champions he can really carry on and not have to just push towers with. So that's highly scary. And they can put Crown a lot more on Lulu. I fucking don't even care. I don't like Lulu mid, but it will help Fury a lot more in actually winning the game, because Crown is okay, but he's not gonna do much, and Kuvey is definitely not gonna do anything. So they need
the best thing that could happen for Fury's career is if he got a team offer from KT.
Yeah, I actually would like to see that, Fury and KT.
That would be, which I guess allows us to transition nicely to KT Rolston.
And we missed Anarchy.
We haven't talked Anarchy yet.
Do we have to?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Anarchy is horribly disappointing. That this a team of people who have openly said we just stream and we don't give a fuck, is not gonna be anywhere near relegation danger.
Yeah.
I can't see them losing to IM or Sbenu.
We've gone full NALCS, boys.
The
Pretty much.
The big thing is, they get to play what they want, and that the things that they know that help them win. I mean, they maybe don't practice that much, but at least fucking Mickey just plays his good shit, and they win with that. And that's something Samsung needs to start doing, like the good shit on the good players, and then we're gonna see Samsung actually improve again. Because, yeah, now it's
Yeah. That's another fucking these bottom four. Like, there's more talent on fucking Dignitas and PDK. Like, that's a higher level game than fucking the shit fest and those. Like, this, you can't even be elitist about it anymore. Like, oh, the 8th team in Korea would beat the fucking best team in North America. Can't even say that anymore.
Well, actually, well, no. Yeah, but I just don't think that North America's very good right now. Too. But sure, like, and any other region.
I'm just surprised that Mickey is still winning on Ari. I mean, it reinforces the fact that they just pick what they want.
Well, I mean,
yeah, if you don't have the ultimate, you can't do anything at all in a team fight. And then with her ultimate, like, she just becomes like a regular champion with no ultimate. Like, yeah, her whole kit is like based around her ult, and if you can chunk her out, so she has to use her ult to escape. Useless. There's no point playing it.
Nope, not much.
So that would bring us into the illustrious KT, and the first thing
I want
to talk about is not just Arrow, it's Sivir. Can KT be a good team with their current roster without Sivir?
It doesn't look like it, but it would help if someday would. I mean, if they just would revert to some meta stuff. I don't fucking know what they're doing. And
yeah, their issues are too expensive to go onto. Like, there's no real kind of star player on the team. Their drafts are terrible. Like, they have an AD carry who's terrible in lane. So what they do is they go, right, pick Vayne into losing match. Like, they have like some decent team coordination, and like they team fight quite well, but that's about it really. Like, they get wrecked in the laning phase so many times. Like, it's not, and then like they have no real concept of what to do in the mid game and stuff like that. Like, any KT hype train is like fucking well and truly dead now for me.
Yeah, for a reason. Like,
I think that's your clear 6th place team right there.
So what do you think? I think the outstanding jungler he was, like he got his team to get wins in the spring, to kind of being lackluster now.
Other junglers stepped up, and he just stayed at the same level he is because he's not a natural jungler.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then, I mean, there's a couple other. There's Edge versus Nagne, and then
I don't get it. Like, he played, like, they were losing 1 week, and that was mostly because of big bans, and then they fucking swap out Nagne for Edge, even though Nagne has probably been their most consistent player the whole split. Like, I don't get it why they're swapping him, and then Edge shits the bed versus Najin, so yeah, that's in your face swapping them out, in my opinion. I don't know, I think they could stick with Nagne. I mean, I think he'd still...
His Nagne's upsides are higher. Like, Nagne has games where, he does nothing and he gets caught all the time, but at least he, can carry a game. Like, Edge doesn't understand how to carry a game. Like, he'll get an advantage and then play really scared. Like, it's really frustrating to watch Edge play, I think.
Getting caught out in random places sounds like something Edge would do too, so...
Yeah, exactly. Edge has all of Nagne's downsides and none of his upsides, so I don't get why you're playing Edge, really.
Then the elephant in the room is Arrow. What the fuck does KT do with Arrow? Because, I mean, I don't think you can have an AD carry where you're down 20, 30 CS in lane phase and expect to win.
And then he also has, like, really, really poor team fighting presence. I saw Emperor play today.
He's like a worse OQ.
Yeah, I mean,
he has OQ moments, but he doesn't have the OQ upside.
Yeah, it's like no good lane or no good mechanics.
I mean, when you think about KT bot lanes, like historically, whether
Yeah.
it's Aura Muff or Arrow and Hachani, like they've never had a good bot lane, and I don't think I feel like they're just a really not a bot lane focused team. But there must be a point when you go, come on, like a fucking Rockat can replace their shit AD carry. Surely we can as well. Like,
Yeah.
Well, at least with Score and Maffa, they never fucking died.
yeah,
Like
just,
they would see us, they would
Score
stay
would do
even,
stuff.
and they would just be like, I will be relevant enough in the late game to do damage.
Mm.
That's all I give a fuck about.
yeah, but Arrow can't even manage that. Like, he's just no, I'm not. Just get rid of him, please. It's done.
Yeah. KT should really for next half. They need to consider some swapping out some players, but not gay. Like, we need to start focusing on getting rid of Arrow and maybe get an actual jungler. So maybe to help score a bit, not necessarily replace them, but put some pressure on.
Buy
them,
Fury from Samsung and yeah, like why don't you try and get like even Fury or something like that from Samsung? That would make you like a respectable team.
Yeah, that would actually be decent. Just Fury is, and their solo laners aren't strong enough to be a solo lane centric team. Like if you think about like Fnatic for example, they had really strong solo laners with Solas and expected before, but SSumday and Najin are not at the same level. Najin sometimes is, but often it just gets caught and dies, and it's not that reliable in
Pushing
lane.
advantage. Yeah, Sunday's good at pushing an advantage, but he doesn't reliably get an advantage enough
Yes.
to like be a real carry threat. And then he plays like Renekton, so every game Renekton.
That was my issue with the SSumday hype train, is that Duke can also punish an advantage, and then SSumday may punish it more, but Duke is more liable to get that advantage by himself.
Yeah.
Where SSumday usually requires score to get the advantage in order to, punish. Which is why I abandon Duke and be like, oh shit, he's up 100 CS? What the fuck happened up there? And I don't see SSumday ever having the ability to do that.
I mean, yeah, he's still like a tier below, and that's the problem. If you're gonna go pure solo-centric team, you have to have really good solo laners who can actually carry. And then it doesn't matter that much that the already carry is bad, but I mean, yeah. Now
Yeah, it does.
but less. I mean, even fuck TSM gets away with wins, and they have Walter.
Yeah, but they're playing in shit region.
Yeah.
But same.
Arrow's issue is he doesn't understand that he's not a good player, so he tries to play like a good player continuously, and he just gets shit on for it. So there's no one who's going on KT who's going to step up and carry, because their solo lanes think their bot lane's going to carry, and this bot lane thinks it's going to carry, but that can't carry. So it's just bizarre.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another AD carry in Sbenu Champions Summer. I wonder, could he even be on the 5th team? Is it possible? Right, the next player is Space on CJ, is the 5th team that is also garbage and thinks he's better and only performs on Sivir, really?
So, wait, before we go, do you expect KT to get relegated? I mean,
Playoffs.
No.
As is right now, I see KT worse than CJ. I think CJ could beat KT and stay in 5th place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Without at least one roster change, Arrow, I don't see KT getting up there. Well, I mean, if you got a AD carry that was able to position correctly and fight and was basically became your star, I could see the lineup they have right now being able to protect that person and play. Solo lanes would not go crazy, but they'd at least be able to even lose a little bit, and then you just peel for your AD carry. I think that's totally possible. You can peel for your AD carry, but he can't fucking be down 100 CS.
Yeah, and he when you talk about the flame horizon, like the 100 CS advantage, the arrow horizon is to go 100 CS down. Like,
Which actually happened this week.
You know, you've lost lane so hard that you've gone full arrow right now. Like, if you're regularly going 100 CS down, like there should be a long panda award for fucking. If there was a long panda award for ADC, Arrow would win it this split, I think.
I mean, you can pull that off when you're playing Draven, and one kill is like 1,000 gold, so it doesn't matter about
never
CS.
gets a kill.
But you can't play Draven anymore because Draven's garbage in a world where tanks can just TP home guard onto you.
Yeah. Not.
And yeah, against the game 2 against Najin, he had 362 CS versus OQ's 464.
Okay.
So he did pull an arrow.
That's not that thing. Alright, let's go to CJ now.
Okay. Of space. What do you guys think of CJ? They seem to have very similar problems. They have a top laner who can play some champions and go off, but isn't the greatest. They have a jungler who
looks uncomfortable
swapped.
sometimes.
He just impact some games. You have a mid laner who is amazing. I mean, Nagne's nowhere near Coco, but I mean, you have a mid laner who's trying to do their best. And then support who, I mean, I don't think Fixer's bad, but I don't think he's the greatest. He's not bad.
Fixer played really bad this week, though.
Yeah, it was.
I would say Fixer has a much further downside of it, but Fixer has, like, when he came in, he there was not much that changed in KT besides Fixer, and they went off on a run.
Yeah, the CJ right now are just super powered KT. Like, they're doing what KT are trying to do, and they're making it work, like, to a degree, because they've got a lot of veteran presence behind them. Mm-hmm. When you think of CJ, you think of the veteran kind of presence on that team. All of them have done multiple seasons of champions. All of them are, you know, hard-bodied, battle-scarred veterans.
Coco's amazing plays.
Yeah, and they are, like, because their mid laner is actually really good and now really consistent, but they're what KT want to be CJ, but it's like, but CJ don't want to be CJ. So
no.
Like,
well,
what's your end game there, like KT? And no, like I don't think that CJ will do as well as in this year's playoffs as they did in the last one, because I think that all the other teams have improved like by this much, and CJ are just staying around here. So when Najin, Jin Air, and Ku Tigers all go like this, then like CJ just stuck in the same place. And at least now the CJ bar, some teams have stepped over that bar, so I don't have to watch CJ play fucking loads and loads of playoff matches anymore.
I mean, I want to like talk about the whole CJ. First start with Shy. He's a real good veteran top laner, but his champion pool is still an issue in my opinion. They kind of make it work, but I'm still not a huge fan of Shyvana because I think she's very unreliable in actual effective team fighting. She has no good CC and stuff. The Shen could maybe start working in the meta right now, so that could be an advantage for CJ. I mean, they really have to bank on some picks just becoming good so Shy can play them. But,
yeah, I mean, he's talked to window back.
Yeah, because Nard is actually fading away again a bit. I mean, he's still good, but people are forgetting him. I mean, yeah, that's an issue, but like they can work around it a lot, and he's good on Rumble and stuff. So I mean, I think Shy is in general fine. Ambition is lackluster often. He plays his own game every game. Doesn't matter against who, against what. Like he'll just play his weird jungle-esque game. Hopefully he'll pick a bit more Nunu because he's really good on it, and that would it would help them more. But definitely, if Coco gets more Zir, they should play more Nunu Zir. It's such a sick combination because you don't have to waste blood on space, but you can use it on Coco.
Yeah, no. Nunu I've talked about this before, how like Nunu kind of hides a lot of CJ's weaknesses, and like it's good when they play it, but they don't play it nearly often enough. Like if I was Ambition, I'd be like, fuck Gragas and fuck Rek'Sai. I just want Nunu. Give me Nunu, please. Nunu. But Ambition is like has a bit of an ego about him, where he's like, no, I can play Gragas just as well as anyone fucking can.
It's pretty interesting to see like when Nunu when the old meta of junglers was there, and then Nunu, like with Sejuani when she was still relevant, and Nunu was still seen, and now that it's switched over to Gragas and I guess Lee Sin to a point.
More Evelyn.
Yeah, Gragas, Rek'Sai, Evelyn, and Lee Sin kind of. But Nunu's just like completely disappeared, even though Nunu still is nothing really changed. He's still
Yeah.
pretty freaking ridiculous.
I think Ambition is the only player who played it this week. Like I think in the world, I'm not sure China played him, but pretty much what I saw. And Coco, well, there's not much to say about Coco. He's really good. Definitely second best mid laner in Korea right now. He has to keep doing what he has to do, but he needs more help from his team to get more convincing wins. Space has to go. Space has to fucking go. Like, or they have to get Sivir every game, and it kind of can work. And MetLife still has his veteran status, which keeps him agreeable. But yeah, I think MetLife has not shown that great place in general lately.
His second game of Bard was good. His first game of Bard was
the second game was
not
pretty nice, but come on, it was our first very strong opponent.
Yes.
Anyway, so. I mean, yeah. In general, CJ is indeed just KT with better show laners and a better bot lane. Not much, but tiny bit better. Like they survive laning a lot more. That's mostly because of MetLife, though, because he can manage and they lane swap a lot. But yeah, I think CJ, when they get space out, and that could really just alone that having a carry, 80 carry would increase their potential so much more. They could compete for the top too. But now it's a problem and they need to swap out. I think they'll probably, because KT has been doing so bad, they'll make playoffs, but it's gonna be at the bottom.
They won't.
They won't win.
No, I don't think KT
They
will
won't
make
win.
playoffs.
No, I think because KT is doing so badly, I think CJ will make playoffs.
Oh yeah. CJ will make playoffs.
But I don't see CJ winning the 5 versus 4 game.
I don't think Space is as bad as all that, but I don't think he's up to the standard of Pilot or.
He's
not good enough to be a top 5, top 6 team.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everywhere is better. Bang is better, Prey is better, Pilot, Jack is even better than him, OQ is better. Like everybody above him, all the teams above him have better AD carries. I think Fury is even better as well. So.
Yeah.
So, I know Ku isn't coming up next, but do you think it's not kind of odd? Like, it's funny that there's 3 teams that need very similar. I guess Ku doesn't need an AD carry, but you have 2 teams and a 3rd team that needs a jungler. Like, you have 3 teams that need junglers and 2 of them that need AD carries in the top 6.
Yeah, there's all the good junglers in Korea left, didn't they? So whatever, fuck,
all in China, not playing jungle.
Yeah.
Kakao still plays jungle.
Fucking.
So does Swift, but.
Yeah.
Lee Sin versus Dandy. Such a hype top lane Matt. Wait, top lane? So, I don't know, it just seems kind of odd again. It's just a similar, we've touched on it multiple times before, it just seems like the same thing is needed. Is that, I don't know, you guys are a little bit more down on Shy and SSumday, but for top 6, I'm still fine with them. I still think that they're not the issue.
I don't think they should be replaced. I think, you know, if anything, they're a credit to their team. The issue is that the team they're on doesn't have, CJ are fine in a sense because they've got Coco, who is that reliable carry threat.
They need a second one though. That's the issue. KT and CJ both Well,
KT need a primary carry, and CJ need a secondary carry.
I just find there's so many mid laners though. There's Kuzan, there's GBM, there's EasyHoon, there's Faker, there's Tank, there's Kuro, there's Coco, there's Nagne.
The reasoning for that, and Porn had an interview where he was asked what's the big what makes Korea the best region, and he said it's the quality of the mid laners. It's so much harder to play against a Korean mid laner than it is to play against any other mid laner, and it's he's right. Of course he's right. You can talk about EU mid laners or whatever you want. The actual amazing mid laners come from Korea, and Korea across the board produces the best talent. But for me, when you've got players like Faker or Porn or these other players, Dade, who just fucking go off and just fucking tear games apart, limb from limb, that's where the fucking Porn is in Korea, and that's why so many good mid laners are on the bench, with Tank and with Kuzan. So yeah, you just that's why CJ still have a really good mid laner in Coco. But if they lose Coco like in the off season, like around the time of Worlds, they're totally fucked. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't see CJ doing any better because I don't think they have like enough talent to kind of take them up. I think they rely too much on veteran presence, and other teams have now caught up because the one thing about veteran is you can't bank on it forever because eventually, you know, your mechanics will go to shit, and the other players will be like enough a veteran to outplay you completely, and CJ are just relying on veteran status right now, and it can't work for them in the long run.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked that I think the CJ. I said it before. I think even like when Dom was supposed to be on this and was doing it, and one of the questions he asked us was like what we thought about CJ because it was right when they started on their pick, and I was like, no, it's an aberration. What they're doing is an aberration. What they're doing is they understood the meta faster than anyone else did, and that was the one time they got the meta, and then you could see that Jin Air and Ku fell off, and now Jin Air and Ku are coming back up. And CJ has stayed where they were. We're like, oh, we know this meta. We got it good. We're just going to be able to abuse the fact that they don't know what they're doing. And then they got basically the finals, the unofficial finals of spring. And then everyone's like, yo, we got this. We've had enough months to be able to break it down and understand what to do now. We understand that Cinderhulk was really that stupidly OP. And now CJ has pretty much had some games they've looked great on the backs of Coco and Shy, and then others it's just they've fallen apart, and it's just they're back to where they should have been last season and this season, which is middling.
Definitely.
Oh wow, are we done with CJ?
Yeah, there's nothing more to say about
Next one is the surprising is the Najin, who I'm actually kind of surprised considering how I mean,
they're all
their
pretty much dying.
One of their losses was against Anarchy in the first game, which if they played against Anarchy now,
They wouldn't. Yeah.
the fact of Najin was not actually as bad as they were in the beginning, and it seems like they lost that game solely because they were not prepared to play against Anarchy, and
First week.
Anarchy came in and completely surprised them first game.
I think they went in that first week. They went all in their prep against Ku Tigers, and that's why they played so well against Ku Tigers. But I don't think they can, like, they just were like, oh, there's no way we'll lose to Anarchy. It'll be fine. Like, Mickey will play Lee Sin mid like he did in China. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, underestimating Mickey.
They got bodied, but no, I think Najin's future is bright. They just need to play the right players. And it's the same old shit with Najin that has been for really coming on to, a year of the same old fucking thing. Like, when the whole world is screaming, just play the right players. Just do it. Like, what... You know, like I know that Tank and Peanut had some bad games in the Cinderhulk better, but we're out of that now. You know, you can play other stuff now. So, like, and
we're out of the dominance of the Cinderhulk, man. It's still pretty much every game it's pretty much taken, but it's not as ridiculous as it was before.
It's way more balanced. You can pick warrior champions and like at least compete with it.
And when
it's not like it was where you could get 2 kills on your jungler and be like, well, never gonna kill that motherfucker again.
And now I've watched Peanut again. I watched Peanut play in the sub league, and he was great, and he looked like he understood Cinderhulk better now. So the edge that Watch had over him was that Watch understood Cinderhulk better than Peanut did, but now that's not an issue anymore. So now just play Peanut, please. He could be the next big fucking thing. Just give him a chance.
See, I'm more on the.
You're a chance, man.
I'm more on Goong. Just I will accept Watch. I'll take Watch. Just give me Tank, or as I like to call him, Rain, because it was a way better name. But I was just like, can you just play? I'll accept Watch. I'll accept Watch for now. I'll take it, but please replace fucking Goong. His Cassiopeia makes. Oh my god! This is my issue. Is like I wrote it down there. Is that I thought. Monte Cristo and Papa Smithy were a bit too nice to Goon because it was just like no one was in range, dude. You ulted the back of a target that was not in range.
Yeah.
And then he instantly turned around ulted you, and then you fucking died. Like, you died to Edge because you missed your ult when you didn't even need to use it.
Yeah, Goon should be in China with Save. He should be on that. He should be on Young Glory or whatever, or Wings of Aurora or whatever fucking team is in the LSPL.
But I mean, yeah, Peanut is amazing, and he will replace Watch. And if it's not at the end of the season, I'm gonna have to like. That's insane. I understand if they want to ride Watch out for one last. Oh, he's made it to all the worlds or 4 consecutive worlds or whatever bullshit. But Peanut has got to be starting. The latest spring next year is the main starter. But just Goom, get the fuck out, Goom, now. At least Watch can contribute sometimes. He's got some beautiful Eve flanks, but fuck, get out, Goom.
And his Gragas is legit. That
Yeah,
is fucking legit. Like, in that KT fight where he, like, fucking flash body slammed over the wall and then fucking explosive cast someone in and then body slammed him again, like, boom. He just, like, his use of body slam is incredible. But outside of Gragas, he's fucking shit.
Yeah, like you said, he has that one champion, and Elise, when Elise was good, it was holy fuck, it was Elise.
Yeah, and now, like, his Lee Sin is still respectable, and, like, you know, he's still creative with Lee Sin, but because he's played so many games on it, but like Lee Sin's not really a meta jungler anyway, and he goes to Lee Sin because he feels comfortable on it. That says a lot, really. I think he's a decent Sejuani as well, but he never plays that anymore. No one plays Sejuani these days.
If people say they want to play a comfortable pick, fucking pick Nunu. You literally have one ability. You have one ability. All you have to do is push E on the target you want to stop attacking you. You push W on a target you want attacking the enemy team. You get into a position that isn't a choke and push R, and you're fucking done. None of that has skill shots. None of it is all click.
Yeah.
I'm going to play the most intensive jungler I could possibly play outside of Echo with Lee Sin instead of picking a champion that is significantly helpful in Nunu.
And good. Yeah.
I mean, besides the fiasco of the who they should swim, like who they should be playing, is there any significant issue you guys see with Najin?
I mostly disagree with the fucking Tristana the whole time.
Yeah, their draft phases are sometimes a bit weird.
They are way too cocky in draft phase.
They don't respect Sivir enough. You know, Kelsey Moses is right. Like, you really should be playing Sivir more.
No,
all the memes.
No, it's true. It's true.
Like, they don't, and then like they continuously like expect Duke to do a bit too much. Like, they'll put him on like a hyper carry, and then not give him a lot of, and they'll just like expect him to body lane like when he's getting camped. Like, it's
have Rise. You better be amazing. Oh, you're getting completely shut down, but we still expect you to be amazing and carry.
Yeah, like Najin just need a bit like they played well against KT, and they drafted well against KT, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for that Jin Air series. But I think that it would, because that series should have been closer than it was. But like Najin just have a bit, and that's the kind of thing I think will probably just resolve itself in the second half of the season, is their weird draft phases, because they're not hopeless. It's just a bit questionable at times. And even in those Jin Air games, they were playing well on the picks they were on, but like there was definitely a lot of individual skill going there and stuff like that. But the execution of, like, because they limit their win conditions when they do that kind of shit. So because their win conditions are get really ahead in lane and then win and then snowball it. So when they can't get ahead in lane because they pick loads of hyper carries, you can't. Yeah. I think Najin will be fine, and I think the top 4, because only 3 teams get to go to Worlds, and in a sense,
I think they'll be one of them.
Najin are the worst positioned of the 4 to go to Worlds because they have the least circuit points, so they have to rely on the Gauntlet, which is Najin style. They've done it twice before.
I mean,
like,
it's not gonna matter too much for the Gauntlets. I mean, they'll probably end like in the 2nd place.
I think they're the 3rd best team in Korea.
You think Najin are better than the Ku Tigers?
Ku is good right now. Like, I mean,
I think Jin Air can still hold. I think Jin Air has the ability to still hold a chance of going to Worlds, but
I maintain if there's one team that's gonna, I maintain the first team that will beat SKT in a best of 3 is Coup Tigers.
now with the current junglers.
They're playing it.
I don't think Bengi's as strong as he
Yeah,
looks.
I think
I don't think Hojin or Wisdom are good.
no.
I mean, I'm not saying Bengi is good. I'm saying I think all
But-
of those junglers
yeah,
are equally
yeah.
bad.
But that's the point. Like they're equally bad, so who can, as a team, outplay SKT maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but-
Perhaps.
I think
but-
Frey, and I think Frey's the kind of player who, if he can go off, like he can really fucking go off, like those initial, like I'm still remembering those initial Corky games he played, and those were insane. So if he can get to that level again, like, and like you've got, and then your top laner is so much better than SKT's top laner, like, and your support is so much better than Wolf. Like, Ku have, you know, the best support, objectively the best top laner, and possibly the best AD carry. Like, you know, there's a lot of fucking talent on that Ku roster. You can't just you know.
My issue is what we've said before about some players is not realizing that they're not the carry. Bengi knows. It's been 2 fucking years of him being just slapped in the face with dicks, and he's like, dude, I'll stones. If I could buy red and a blue, and I could place 5 wards, I'd fucking do it. Every game, I would rush those items. I'm just gonna drop wards everywhere, and that is why I think they're not gonna lose, because he knows his position. I am Faker's trinket.
Yeah, I'm Faker's
summon spell.
No, he's not even summoning spell. He's just I'm his yellow trinket, and his yellow trinket gets to drop 4 wards, and one of them moves.
But I maintain that I reckon. In fact, I'll even go as far as to say I think the next time Coup Tigers play SKT, they will beat them, because I think that if there's one team that aren't going to give SKT a win, it's Coup Tigers.
Najin with Peanut and Tank.
Yeah,
that's who I think beat the first team to beat SKT.
I think Najin, the only way they have a legitimate shot at beating SKT and being decent at Worlds is if they field Peanut and Watch.
If they field one of them,
it's not.
Then it would be a big improvement. If they field both of them, that roster could probably just
number
go
one.
off.
That
could be the KT Arrows of this year. You know, the team that just out of nowhere just fucking goes off.
They don't have Hachani. They have a support. Okay.
No, like even if you like one will still not be enough to. They won't win with one. They won't win.
But they could make it to Worlds with one.
Yeah, sure. I think they can even without, but it's gonna be a lot harder. It's gonna rely on a bit of luck with the meta.
Yeah.
So do we all 4 agree that Ku, Jin Air, SK Telecom, and Najin, 3 of them are going to Worlds?
Yeah.
Those are the only 4 we think really have a shot.
I legit think it's like
it's
SKT, the Jin Air, Najin, Ku are the top 2 to 4, and then the other 2 you can't even talk about them in comparison. I mean, they're decent, but they're not gonna get close enough. Definitely not for Worlds content. I think it's still hard to say who will make Worlds. Jin
but
Air,
I mean, those are the 4.
Oh yeah, those are definitely.
Well, I think SKT is going to make Worlds.
Yeah,
I think the other 2.
I mean, the other 2 is
Jin Air and Najin.
You say Jin Air, but I think Ku is legit, right? I mean, they have the most cohesion of the teams outside of SKT in their in strategy play, in their Big Ben. Still, Nokia is back on point with Big Ben, and they also have pretty talented players. I think Sam overreacts a bit. I don't think there's such a disparity between all the players and those from SKT and Ku. Definitely not in bot lane. I think bot lane you're overhyping them a bit. And I think Prey and Gorilla are good. I mean, they're good, but when Wolf and Bang have just good games, then they are just as good and can outplay them, or at least be competitive enough.
That's true. Bang did have that game where he really went off as well. So yeah.
But that's like that's the apex of his ability. Like that is not something he can constantly hit. That is the highest.
Yeah, but Bang consistently performs so on a lot of carries, and he has a similar pool of prey. And I think in pure Big Ben, he would actually if they focus on bot lane, I think SKT would come ahead in the AD carry, like, because they play the same champions, but I think Bang does a bit of a better job carrying on those. To be honest, but he has more liberty because his mid laner's better, but still, and they still have a better jungler as well. And I think Martin is good enough to handle Smap, but of course he's also dumb enough to get dumped by Smap. So yeah.
Myron thinks he's better than Smap.
Yeah, that's the problem. He thinks
Of course
he's
he
better
does.
than Smap.
Of course he does.
I
mean,
no, like Coup Tigers just need to play with wisdom more, and just stay strong. And I think they could. I think they can go to Worlds pretty easily. They've got quite a lot of circuit points as well. They're resurging at the right time, and you know what? I'll maintain that they've got as much talent as any team in the world. I think.
Sure.
Like having Gorilla alone.
Yeah. That helps him.
Gorilla is legit as fuck. Like, he might be the most underrated player. Like, nobody hyped him up, but he's so good. Everything he does is so good.
His fucking Thresh at Worlds last year.
He always makes the right decision as well. Even when Coup Tigers were proper shit in the bed, I still couldn't fault any decisions that Gorilla was making. Like, his only tendency is he sometimes face checks a bush. Like, woo.
Everyone does that though.
Exactly. Like, but everyone, like, I've seen everyone fucking face check a bush.
Coup plays versus SKT in 3 weeks, so
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, what patch would that be? 5.12.
It's probably gonna be 12 because they were on 5.11.
God, you do not want Faker to fucking play Runeblade Ezreal mid lane, dude. He is gonna fucking shit on that if he would do that. No, I think SKT is gonna win that again. If they play Faker, I think they're still solid enough. But I think if Coup keeps playing like Coup could be the biggest contender unless Najin makes a roster swaps. They're the biggest contender for SKT this split. I think by far. Jin Air has like the upsides, but Trace's champion pool is like
Maokai and Rumble.
yeah, it's way so predictable, and everybody fucking plays Maokai and Rumble in Korea. So
yeah, if you can't play those, you don't get to be Korean. Sorry,
no.
Take your passport off you.
Well, I mean, do you think? Do you want to still talk about Coup? I mean, we switched Coup to second place right now, but I mean, because we kind of merged from Najin into Coup.
Why not? Let's just go to Jin Air and then quickly Coup again.
I was like, do you think Jin Air are picking the same champions because they just let them, like people are just letting them get them, or do you think that's like their only available pool of like champions they're comfortable on? Because I think it's the first part. I think that if you're not gonna fucking ban Rumble, I'm just gonna pick it every game.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on Trace because I've been abused by him so many times in the past.
I understand.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, but I think so. Ignoring Trace, you've got the best jungler in Korea, a top 3 mid laner, another really good mid laner who you keep playing. That's not really known to you. And again, Chaser can go off. Like Chase goes off on Nidalee, he goes off on Rek'Sai, off on Gragas.
There is a problem that Nidalee's getting fucked with 5.12.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, with the Runeblade.
Sorry, World Elite. Guess it's relegations for you after all, then, isn't it?
Not if Insect has anything to say about it.
Yeah. But I think there'll be some other jungler, and Chase will be good on that.
Sure.
So there is. The only issue with Jin Air is that they play the wrong bot lane, and I think Captain Jack's good, and I think he could be, a reasonable carry on one of those lower teams, but I still think the upside with Pilot is higher, and you should go all in, because a Korean team shouldn't be just aiming to get the whole fucking thing. When you think about it, you think Jin Air, Najin, Coup Tigers, and SKT. Those are all reasonably, if they went to Worlds, would be contenders to win it. They'd be a top 4 team at Worlds. So why not go for the proper all-in, let's just win the whole thing?
Yeah, both Jin Air and Najin have the problem. They have the jungler, Pina, and OQ that could be so much more in the long term and could get them better results at Worlds and even at the end of the splits, but they're not playing them. That's hurting them just because they now have the synergy and the effective wins
Yeah.
and stuff with it. And I don't. Now is the time you have to bank on the talent for the future, not hold up. It's not like you fucking need necessarily to win right now. I mean, they're fine at the moment. Like they're all even, and Najin fucked up just by losing to Anarchy. So
Like, yeah.
Yeah, and the Korean league is probably like a really quite forgiving league. Like you can throw some games you really shouldn't throw. It's like when you compare it to LCS as well, because you play like 3 times as many games, you can really experiment more and stuff like that.
yeah.
A lot more against the teams against your tier 2. I mean, the big losses in my mind are not the ones against the top 6. It's against the bottom 4. If you lose against the bottom 4, that even a game those points are so close. Even
Yeah,
one
right
game
now.
loss against them may be the bigger issue.
But I still think, you know what, just go with the higher upside. Like I'm the kind of person who I'll always think like go all in, you know, like the old phrase of like play to win. Like why not play to win the whole thing rather than just win, like rather than just get to Worlds. Like we're at Worlds now. What we've got Captain Jack. Fuck, he just got wrecked by fucking Deft in bot lane. GG. Like
Yeah, and they also, I mean, KT is actually a score a set under them, so they have some leeway right now, some leverage, so they should not have to, they shouldn't worry that much.
no, and like when I watched Najin play Jin Air. Now, when I watched Najin play, because the interesting thing about Najin this week was when you watched them play Jin Air, it was like they're really lacking in this mid jungle thing. And then when you watched them play KT, it was like it doesn't matter what their mid and jungle do because their side lane will just fucking going off anyway. So in Najin, I don't think there's a risk there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with Jin Air, I still don't buy there's a proper risk because I think their bot lane right now is so unimportant in their wins.
Mhm.
Captain Jack presses R. I'm sure Pilot can press R. Fucking Sivir. And I think that Che is really good, especially his Annie play. Like he's really decisive with his Annie play, and his engaging is really good. So like even if you want to do Pilot and Che, that could work because I'm pretty sure they used to be a bot lane.
Yeah, they played a lot last.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
wasn't Shay XD?
Yeah. No. XD was sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shay was just playing the whole time pretty much.
Like
he was Ink. He was Ink and Boing.
Yeah. So if you want to bring in so just maybe experiment with Pilot and the other 2 supports and swap them out based on what support champion you want. If you want the Bard, bring in Sweet. If you want the Annie, bring in Shay. Like you could do that reasonably because your bot lane isn't your focus of your team. But what you could have is that kind of, you think about it like Kelsey. I read an article by Kelsey where she talked about when Records joined Fnatic, and she compared Records joining Fnatic to the old OMG with San, and how if the solo laners didn't manage to carry the game, then San would become like the knife in their back and kind of seal the win because he would get so big that he would just like crush the team fight or whatever. Yeah. That's what Pilot should be for Jin Air. He should be the knife in the back, and Captain Jack's not a reliable knife in that sense. So
not that much.
Yeah, I think, you know what, I don't, for those teams, I don't see the risk. I'm not fully convinced of this risk. If there's no risk there, but there is a potential reward, just go with the reward then. Like, and it's one of them, like, you always think, well, maybe the Korean coach knows more than, and they will inevitably know more, but just because you know more doesn't mean you can make a better decision.
They swapped them out after, like, I would have gone with the win now for Captain Jack and Shay, but they got swapped in for the Sbenu game. Like, Sbenu was where was the 5th game. They played, both sets got like 4 games where you had Pilot and Che for IM, Anarchy, KT, and Samsung. Yeah. And then you had Captain Jack for Sbenu, Ku, CJ, Najin, SKT. It seems weird. Like if they want to do them for the last 4 games of the Tigers, CJ, Najin, and SKT, I could see that. But Sbenu?
If I
really afraid.
If I had one hope for next split, it's that the top teams treat the lower teams with a bit less respect and try these higher risk, higher reward players, if that's what they want to call them. Or at least try these higher reward players against the lower teams. And if you lose a game, all right, just fucking bring in your safies and just win the other two. It'll be
My
fine.
issue is Pilot and Sweet really, and like Tank risk. I think
No,
Blue
no,
is a
yeah.
higher risk, and same thing with Captain Jack is a bit of a higher risk because Captain Jack I think is going to be more of a
Oh,
put
yeah,
himself
oh,
in a
it's-
risky
that's all
position
fine.
than like Pilot is not the person I think of getting in a risky position.
I think
Exactly. This is my point. Like, I just think
Yeah.
I think this win-loss statistic we hear about Captain Jack is just blown because I think Captain Jack played easier opponents than Pilot, and Pilot was the one fucking in the trenches in Cinderhawk. No one in fucking Jin Air knew what to do.
that's
He was the one fucking buying it out in the trenches. So he took all the fucking rough games, and now it looks worse on him. Like, I'm pulling for you, Pilot, mate. I hope you get back in. I think you're the next Death to Korea, and I think that OQ's the next Imp. We got this, mate.
I am very indifferent about Che versus Sweet. They've been able to seemingly
both
play
Both of them good.
up to snuff. So
Both of them are really good. It doesn't matter which one you play.
support is less.
Pilot's not an aggressive laner anyway, so he's not looking to win lane like OQ is. He's the exact opposite of OQ in a sense. He's really safe. He puts out a lot of damage. He plays like skill shot based champions, and he's really passive in lane. So it doesn't matter which support you're playing with. OQ, it definitely matters which support you give him because. But luckily, both of Najin's support players are identical. Just one of them's 74, and the other one's 7. Like,
oh yeah, I think I looked at that. He is almost my age. Yeah, Kane is 1987,
yeah.
I think, or 89. Sorry, 89.
That's
And I was
my
like,
brother.
yeah, that's
By the way, I'm making jokes about him about his age. He's only 3 years older than me. Well,
Yeah.
that's still old. I mean,
Yeah.
my reaction time is shit,
yeah.
and I'm only 1 year older than him.
But that's kind of what annoys me about Kane, because for me, Kane's a player with a lot of prestige and history behind him, and it kind of bothers me that he's just sitting on a bench. Like,
Well, I mean, he can still be there helping and advising. I have no idea what contracts or anything like that works there.
yeah,
I have no idea. As long as he doesn't like come back and play and embarrass himself.
Yeah, but then like I don't think there's any need to bring Kane. He's playing more than just Alistair now, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, we can go back to Ku for a couple minutes if there's anything else you guys want to say. I mean, we talked a bit about them. Is there any
Well, with
specific issues we see besides the Hojin wisdom?
not.
So I find it. Go on. I was just gonna say something stupid.
Yeah, I think just in general, they have a very complete package except the jungler. But I think many Korean teams have shown they can work around that.
I think they have the strongest fundamentals in Korea as well, with like sideway, like minion wave manipulation, team fighting, objective-based focus gameplay. I think they have the best fundamentals,
Yes.
and in a sense, maybe even the best strategy in Korea. Like they've talked about this broadcast before. The issue was when they were losing was they were getting such a massive deficit in the laning phase because they'd all be shit in lane that they couldn't come back through excellent shot calling. But now those deficits aren't happening. They're even winning lanes. That's really why they're playing really well. Yes, Cinderhawk falling out of favour has something to do with it, and they've gone back to their. But why would you stop doing it? Like, you know what I mean?
I think it's also wisdom. He's ganking a lot more early, where Hojin was I'm gonna farm to 6 and hard farm to 6. Also, I hope I don't know if you were able to listen to the interview, Peter, but Hojin said that he changed his name because Riot said they wanted him to change his name, and the best was like, but what about Eve?
I know.
And the difference being is that there's no chance Samsung's going to make it to another international event, so they don't give a fuck. But they know Ku Tigers probably do, and they were already there where there was one time where Lee was Lee, and it probably frustrated them even though Lee Sin wasn't in the meta at that time. And it's like, we're only going to care about your names as long as you have a chance to make the Worlds.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll convince GBM to change the gamer tag to something a bit more other than ganked by a mom.
Dude, no. Solid name. What do you guys think about Kuro, though? I mean, Because when Ku was losing, it was really the three that were falling kind of out of harmony were Prey, Kuro, and Hojin.
I think he's
Yeah, but I think Kuro's fixed a lot of his issues now.
he's been stepping up, expanding his pool again. He remembers Victor as a champion, so he's doing well on that again.
Yeah, and he is an insane victor as
He's a
well.
very, very good Victor.
I
Probably
think
the
the only one that beats him is Faker,
Yeah.
who one shots like champions.
I would say that
tanks.
I would say that GBM, Faker, and Kuro are the three best victor players in the world.
Yeah, Coco hasn't played that much
Jurgson?
Victor. Oh god, come on,
Okay.
he doesn't fucking.
In seriousness, so no, I mean,
No.
is there really
West
anything
was-
else to...
I just want to like when I think about Ku, it's like it's a very good team at strategy. Their big band is good. Anything they do on the map is pretty decently. And they have a lot of skill, but it's just not. None of their players except Gorilla is like the very, very elite. I mean, Smap. All right, Smap is, but I mean, still on Duke, and Smap is still relying a lot on his opponents and being able to niche pick the Riven now and then, which he's absolutely monstrously good on, but. Which is nice, because they can fucking kind of pick Rumble like pretty much every time. If you pick Rumble against Ku, you have to fucking be... Yeah, you have to be prepared.
On your toes.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
And I think that Prey, I still believe in Prey. I still think Prey can step up again.
Oh, I'm blown away that Prey was... I'm blown away that Prey was able to come back after a year of not playing, really, and
I think
still show his mettle.
Prey's talent is insane. It's his work ethic that's shit. His talent is like exponentially high. Like Imp had an interview where he said he's the most talented AD in the history of the League of Legends. Like his talent is so up here, you know. It's his work ethic, and like if he gets a girlfriend, he goes to shit.
Sam, luckily there's no more NLB for Najin to win on like fucking stupid ass goddamn picks.
Yeah, I mean, Prey has been very stable right now, which I like, but
Yeah.
it's not the highs he had during the Juggernaut things and when he was really the focal point. But it's okay. Like I think Smap and Kuro picked over really nicely, and he's doing well. But I think when I would compare Najin with the right players, like then the lineup would just be like even better in a way than Ku lineup right now. So I think. You put Najin, the right players on there, and Ku, and those can really compete with SKT. But right now, I think SKT just Faker is giving them way too big of a match right now. It's dumb. 10 different champions. He wins all the time. His Victor is godlike, so you pretty much have to ban it every game right now against him. I think his Victor is like legit his new LeBlanc right now, because it's like way higher right now in the meta. It's way stronger. Like, it can do so much, and it doesn't look right now that the right is gonna nerf it because the West doesn't play Victor. So right has no idea Victor's strong. So yeah, it's a bit of a. I don't know. I think it's gonna be an interesting, and I think Ku is really good. If they keep playing Wisdom, Ku's gonna be a really top tier team. For me, it's just how well Jin Air gonna do. But yeah, for now I would also agree. SKT, Ku, and Najin. But if Najin stays with this lineup, I think Jin Air could beat them in the best of 5.
Yeah.
And then
I love Najin, but my prediction is Ku, Jin Air, and SKT.
I'd love to see Jin Air make it.
I think it will. Chaser and GPM.
From where they've come, I was a fan of because when they were the Falcons and the Stealths.
Yeah, I like
the
Stealths.
Stealths.
Me
Yes.
too. I was also.
And it was nice to see them like slowly increase.
Every split, they were a tiny bit better.
And Jin Air might have over the last year the amount of rookies they brought up and made really, really good. Like you got to think Chaser, Fly, Pilot, Kuzan, Che, Sweet.
Yeah.
All these guys are people who've made their name just as rookies on Jin Air and now are really, really good. Like, there's a lot of, you got to have respect for the coaches and stuff like that, for the work, the sheer amount of work they've put in. Like,
can the
especially
loser
compared
of
to fucking KT.
I think I know what you're
can
gonna
the
say.
loser of whoever loses between Ku, Jin Air, and Najin doesn't make it to Worlds via Korea, can they go to the international wild card and just get a ticket so we can have some competition? Because I would much rather see all 4 of them go than
Oh,
a
that would
lot
be
of
pretty
teams.
cool.
Yeah, there's always a team in Korea that you get really disappointing. Don't get to go. Last year it was KT Arrows. The year before that was KT
Bullets.
There's all one team that you was like, damn it, I wish they got to go because it would have been fun to see him play internationally. But
More the
unfortunately,
bullets. The arrows people just wanted to see so we could see them just completely dominant. Like there was no chance they're gonna win. We just want to see.
I want to see
fucking
Kakao just beat the shit out of
Kakao
everybody.
just dumpster people.
yeah, I want.
That
Plus,
was
The
so
bullets.
The ironic thing as well is that, like, if say Worlds was tomorrow and all the top 3 teams just went, Ryu and Insect would have been to more World Championships than Kakao.
I hate it. This guy is so good. Oh well. He's good.
The
Well,
fact that
But
he,
Kakao will go this year anyway because he's on IG and IG are playing well, so it doesn't
the
matter.
fact that Kakao
Mhm.
won a OGN championship by completely carrying one game by sitting in that stupid fucking bush and getting an amazing pick.
And the worst part is that tournament that finally carried. It was against Spirit. And Spirit went off in some of those games. Like he had good games every time. Like,
Sure. But Kakao is just.
we're reminiscing now. Still on top.
Well, I mean, the next
Well,
team
we have to talk about
is SKT, but
Because
we already know Marin is too big for his britches. Bengi still looks like he's good enough to play. I mean, I understand there's still.
yeah, he's
Yeah, I'd like to see Tom come back in some ways.
Tom might maybe some return.
I'd rather see Bengi and Tom switched out all the time than Baker and Easy Hoop.
That would be nice. Yeah, a bit more. Fuck easy. Yeah, a bit more Tom. They play him so.
Love Tom.
rare.
He plays Nunu.
Yeah, that.
Is Nunu to you what Sivir is to Karen?
No, Lulu is my. If I could see Lulu at jungle and top lane and AD carry, I would love it. But no, I just think Nunu is. If your team is centered around an AD carry and a mid laner, and the mid laner can play Azir and the AD carry can play Sivir, just fucking pick Nunu and W one of them.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
It's pretty legit.
I mean, I think we've talked about kind of SKT quite a bit when it comes to in retrospect of other teams. I mean,
Yeah, we have to compare
SKT
them.
is like is the most talked about team I think at the moment when it comes to Korea. Everyone's like, oh, they're so undefeated, and I don't think it's a. I hope no idiot commentators like, oh, that shows that Korea is lacking in talent. But I think it is true that what Sam's said in like every episode you've been here, that you hope SKT does not win this split.
No, you think they won't win. I hope they cup.
I think they will, but I hope they don't.
No, I just hope they lose some games. I think that it doesn't matter. Like they're still good enough to win, but they need to lose some games because if they go undefeated, like the whole fucking split and playoffs, they're gonna do something stupid at Worlds and lose.
Well, like play Easy.
No, not that stupid anymore. No.
They've learned that lesson.
Yeah, learned the lesson at MSI. No, but something will go wrong in top lane or bot lane or maybe even Bengi, and they might shit it. I mean, hopefully it's at least with the easy hoon problem out of the way. I think they have more games to play at, so they have more room for error against international competition, and they have group stage to prepare and stuff.
SKT. Oh.
But
So the issue I see with KT is that, or SKT, is that both top and bottom need to lose for them to lose.
yeah, it's just really harsh.
Is that Faker?
And
Faker can carry 2 dead bodies.
Even in that one game with CJ, they both were doing shit, and he just bodied because he had Victor and he was destroying Coco. So
Like, he can carry 2 dead bodies.
Second best mid in Korea.
only second best.
But it just the amount of carry potential he has on so many champions now is a bit insane. I mean, is there much more to really talk about SKT?
Teams need to.
A team that wins everything for me is never that interesting.
No, but I mean, you see the glooming weaknesses they have. Though.
Yeah,
The second game.
There are cracks in their armor, but teams give them wins, so you never fully get.
They have cracks in their
smashed.
armor, but they have such a big sword and Faker that it rarely
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah,
The second game against Jin Air though was like, oh my god, it's gonna be a great match, and then no.
It's over. And they also like. I actually like the fact that they swapped the Rise, because I think Jenna didn't expect the Rise mid.
No, dude.
But then
Yeah.
I dislike the fucking Tristana actually. It actually helped them win because it was such a
Yeah,
fast
the
pick.
Tristana was literally what let them win too. Tristana and Rise being on that. God damn it! That was so. Watching that game was just like, oh my god, they're doing it, and then it all fell apart.
Back to 2-0.
So you guys just want to run through next week's games real quick?
Sure.
I got pretty funny that some games that were literally played this week are going to be popping up within like the next 2 weeks. I mean, to start off Wednesday, we have CJ versus Ku,
That
and I am Samsung.
Ku is.
So
I think Ku is gonna. There are no. Are they a patch difference? No, right? Same patch still. Just,
I don't know.
2-0 to Q Tigers, I think.
yeah, me too. I don't know.
It's going to be 5.11 or 5.12 though.
I think every patch would just make Q Tigers stronger though.
Yeah,
Right
and CJ weaker.
Yeah.
now. Right now, definitely.
And then I am Samsung is
Who cares?
Samsung's
that's
gonna
almost
win.
as bad as I am Sbenu.
Yeah.
So don't watch that match.
Samsung's probably gonna win. Thursday.
And then
The rematch.
Wednesday we have the rematch from Saturday. Not even a 7-day intermission between Najin and KT, and I think we're going to see the exact fucking same thing happen
Yeah.
Hopefully this time with Tank and Peanut.
Oh god, that would be a
in your
problem.
dreams. Yes, if that's dreaming, you're going to be a bit insane.
Yeah.
If there's a time to do it, it's then. I hate to break it to the Najin coaches. That's the match you play them.
Well, they actually need to beat KT, so they keep them in 6th. So that's really nice.
At least you play them in one game.
Oh yeah.
Give them a game.
You know that your main roster can dump all over KT anyway, so just play them in one game, see what happens.
Play the first game with your main roster, second game with your Peanut on watch. And Tank. Goddamn.
And then Thursday is Anarchy versus IM. Another week where IM has 2 games. Oh, Friday. So
Anarchy.
let's avoid that.
Anarchy's gonna win. I am just gonna beat Samsung or
IM will beat Sbenu. Sbenu will beat no one. And the interesting game for the bottom 4 is going to be Anarchy versus Samsung.
Yeah.
I mean, Anarchy usually has fun games against the top 6 because they pick whatever the fuck they want and they sometimes get a win, but a game win. But
it's actually pretty
not much
crappy
entertaining there.
for the bottom. And then against
we have CJ and Jin Air.
I just want to bury CJ when all these stuff games that have last couple of weeks. Jin Air should they should there's dead chase. They're gonna easily win that. Unless like if they keep Coco this year, and I don't think CJ can. I don't think he can hard carry now.
I don't think Jin Air is gonna let them have that though.
No, exactly. It's easy win for Jin Air.
What did Jin Air? Oh, Jin Air 2-0'd them. Okay, week 5.
They did. That was our first big loss.
And then Saturday's not a great day. SKT versus Sbenu.
9-0 versus 0.
I wonder if Easyhoon's going to look like the greatest player to ever touch the game versus them.
Oh, yeah.
Easyhoon's a top 3 mid in his career. Oh, it's so good. Easyhoon's this and it's nice. Good shit.
He's not even.
He's like top 5 maybe.
No, not even top 5. They have GBM, Coco, Kusan. Yeah,
Tank,
Baker.
Kusan. Yeah.
Kunis, Kuro is better as well. Come on, too much.
Yeah, Kuro. I would say every day of the week, Kuro is better than Easy. Like, yeah, there was that final where Easy who wrecked Kuro, but at the end of the day,
but that was also a bad time for.
But I think everyone saw the death of Ku before the game even began.
Yeah. But I think that just by picking Aurelia, but I think that I'd put money on like I'd put money on Kuro over Easy, and I think in fact I'd quite like to see that rematch because I think this time Kuro would get in.
He has a way better pool. Like Easy, Izun gets his look good because he has to play against shit teams, and he all gets his best champion. Like everyone looks good like that, and he could be a fucking one-trick soul cube pony. Put him in place of Faker, and then he gets his best champion, and then he would look fucking godlike on SKT. Like, it's not hard.
I've just figured out how you fix KT. You get Frozen, you get Fury, and you get
Prime.
and you bring back Prime. Sorted, boys.
Oh,
KT going to Worlds, baby.
I wish. And then,
This will be the third year in a row where KT misses Worlds.
right,
KT,
And then
you can definitely spell Worlds without KT.
Good.
And then the last game of the week is Ku versus Samsung, which is probably not going to be that impressive because Ku's really back on the horse, and Samsung has looked like they've had. They don't even look like they've had their one comp where they come in with a good comp and they can give you a run for their money, and then you ban one thing and then they fall apart like a ton of bricks.
Yeah,
They have nothing good anymore.
Yeah.
They're really good matches though. We've got CJ versus
Cool.
Ku and Najin versus KT. So
And
We
CJ
also
versus
had
Shen Air.
CJ Jin Air.
and CJ Jin Air as well. Jin Air.
I think those. Any of those, I don't think any of those, but there's probably at least one of those that'll go to 3 games and be interesting. But I think Najin's going to curb stomp KT again.
because they're going to play Peanut. They're going to play Tank.
You say it every week. You have never been right.
He'll be right, and it would be like, thank God.
Yeah, we'll all be so happy.
My optimism about Peanut and Tank is it's like it's difficult to think about the correct players is portrays my personality. If you knew the kind of person I am, that's how I am. It's like everything. Like this week it'll be fine. Like this week you'll suck my dick. Like this week it'll be brilliant. And like it doesn't always happen, but eventually it happens.
This week, CLG won't choke against TSM.
Oh no, I hate CLG. It's not fucking.
No, said you'll always lose for
I
Steel.
was so happy. I thought we'd get relegated.
Oh,
I'm sorry, but it looks like C9 has a better chance of getting relegated than CLG.
Please let that happen as well.
yeah. Actually, at this point, why not? Or at least get them
So-
relegation.
Anything else to say? I mean, I think we should have one shout out to the. Actually, 2. If anyone doesn't follow Korean, Edwas? I have no idea how to pronounce that.
Edelweiss.
The
Barry.
Edelweiss? Okay.
Edelweiss.
Barry.
You don't follow Barry. You
Barry.
follow Barry, the meme master.
The best
And then
best twin.
the other shout out
Yes.
to Karen Mosier on her fucking Sivir memes.
The
it's so fucking
the
funny.
priestess of Sivir. She runs the church of Sivir.
PL games, where like LPL games and like Korean games where you'll see like Sivir be picked up every time, and then you're like, you'll look at a pick and ban phase and be watching the game like, oh, I'm gonna check out some EU or NALCS, and you're like, wait, why are they not picking Alistair?
Yeah.
Wait, why are they not picking? Wait, Sivir fell through the entire pick and ban. What? What? And then you can always know you're gonna get it. And also her articles are actually very interesting.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 shout-outs for shouting out of shout-outs. I think we're pretty much good though.
Yeah,
This
pretty much good.
2-hour plus bumper episode.
Yeah.
I hope all 12 people that watched the show enjoyed it.
I still have to. Alright. Yeah, so see you next episode.
Great show. Thank you very much.
See you.
And see you next week. Peace.
Alright.
Right. I'm going to go to bed because.
If you could relegate